My name is Gretchen Biesing. I am not sure exactly what my title is. Sometimes I go by Vice President for Civic Life, sometimes Vice President for Communications. I joined the T team in December or January. HSC has been a part of SPEC for a couple of years. Beforehand, it was getting people to collaborate on a project, like an event, Imagine Miami, for example, felt like pulling teeth. It's very difficult to get people out of their position because everybody works really hard and has a lot on their plate. So getting people to step up for the extra tasks has been very challenging in the past, and there hasn't always been a lot of very good communication about what's expected of people. I think that with the last conference, there was more collaboration than we had in the past. More teams were involved, more people were interested in it, and with the open house event that we had, there's always going to be a little bit of grumbling about extra work, but it really, in the end, was put together by everybody on staff.
My name is Françoise Pinha, and I work at Human Services Coalition, and I'm the director of the Prosperity Campaign. At times when you have such a program like the Prosperity Campaign or different programs within the organization, there's a disconnect, and disconnect stems from simple things such as communication. Now that we're involved in the SPEC program and we meet regularly, I find that our communication has improved dramatically, internally and externally.
My name is Jacob Coker-Dukowitz. I am the advocacy coordinator. Through the T-Team, people talked about and developed an analysis of what was wrong with communication, which was everything from emotional communication to talking about programmatic areas and inter-department communication. And all of those things were able to be addressed in some way. So the T-Team would develop like specific activities for the whole organization to do, trying to maintain transparency in that. From that, I feel like there's been an immense improvement. When I first came in, I felt like people often felt like they weren't listened to, they weren't included in decision-making was unclear to a lot of people. I think there's still issues, but I think that it's cleared up tremendously. It's improved our work, it's improved my personal well-being and happiness and emotional stability as an employee here. Along
with communication, we've expanded in other areas as far as networking better, having one internal department and another internal department work jointly to accomplish certain goals, which is very important in moving on. Now that we're moving on to Catalyst Miami, that's very important because we need to know where each department, each team member, and where you stand and what your role could be at improving this new project and taking HSC to another level.
I think that oftentimes executive decisions would be made without other people, other employees understanding why or how they would be made. I feel like there's more feedback now in that process. So, for instance, the program that I'm supervising, I know historically there's been executive interventions in that program at times that have pushed it into trajectories that might not always be the healthiest for it. When I came on supervising this program now, that I'm doing the Neighborhood Leadership Project, I feel like, for the most part, really respected in that, consulted. So I feel like in that I can see a really direct change in the way that people communicate and how decisions are made.
I think it's important to continue focusing on internal communication and transparency. I don't think that our work is done in those areas, but really I think just the presence of the T-Team is a positive force for the agency because they're kind of, they're like the T-Team is the agency watchdog. Here's the space where people are given permission to voice their concerns and their fears and to be truth sayers for the organization. And just knowing that there is a space that's provided for that makes me feel better about the future and about the agency as a whole.